This isn't Cork, is it?
Very strong.
Yeah. Do you know, so like, that's
very,
what you want, this was going into it.
It was very strong panel, yeah. They were great players, absolutely. David Quirk, Pat Buckley was a super player as well, and
David came on the fine.
David came on the fine, yeah. But the training here was just incredible. And you're talking about the cannon ride and what they bring differently, right? I mean, we can remember days outside here, like, I mean, he'd arrive and he'd have the goalie bag and he'd have the 2,000 slitters on the shoulder and stuff like that, right? And part of the training was out here, he'd put down through the 2,000 balls out onto the field, and you puck the ball up and down, left and right. After the year, there was 20 minutes without catching the ball or putting it in the hand. It had to be hit, and you had to go meet it, go on left. If it's coming this way to your right, you had to hit it that way, off the left. Breaks out in front of goal, 20 yards, you pull in it. Cunningham's goal on one side, you had Ger Power on the other side below. And that was it. That was most of the training. And if he wasn't happy, there was one night outside there, Carl blew the whistle. Remember that, did he? He went round, he picked up all the balls from it to goal bag. Carl, that's not it.
Running.
Oh, he says, that's the worst I've ever seen. I'm out of here. Walk straight out the stadium, right? Out under the tunnel. Out under the tunnel. It wasn't his first time. That's right, you know. And into the car, and you're going up over here at the marina, you could hear the screech of the brakes. And we're all outside. Jesus Christ, what do we do now? Those fellas laughing. Let them off, whatever. We know balls, we know slippers. We could even have a puck around ourselves. So 10 minutes later, you'd hear the car screech again. Out into the middle of the field again. I'll give you one last chance. You're useless.
Yeah.
And then for
a priest like
but it was great to get fellas going, and I'd throw the balls out again. And then for that 20 minutes, we bait the lard out of each other. Every time you chased it. Yeah. That was getting into fellas' heads. He was brilliant that way. Brilliant.
And I was driving down by Castlelines. Next week started doing flashing lights like. I didn't know the sales after coming down. So he stopped there. He said, where are you come from? I said, Dublin. I know this in the car, it's a hard car, like. It's a hard car from here to Citrus. You open in there with the cups. I threw him fast. He might have been G, like, what cups? Oh, I said, David McCarthy. I've been in the boot time. Have you? He says. Could you give me one look at this? Right? Like, I wasn't sure at the same time going into this car. I poked the camera. Jesus, they won't believe it's back in the station, he says. No mobile phones that time. But thanks for showing to me now, he says.
I'll tell you what, he had it on some there's no doubt about it.
No, it must be some benefit.
Hello, good evening and welcome to tonight's Irish Examiner live stream coverage of the Cork Rebel Lobe Premier 1 Minor Hurling Championship final between Sars and St Finbarr. Sars and the Bars came through the revamped round robin system unbeaten before recording semi-final wins over Ballincollig and Glen Rovers respectively. Incredibly, the Bars are bidding for their first title at this grade since 1997, with Sars last claiming the honours in 2014. I'm delighted to have Seanie McGrath and Eamon Murphy of the Evening Echo here alongside me on commentary duties, and we'll be hearing from them in a few moments' time. But first, it is a special day here on Leeside. 30 years since Larry Tompkins and the Cork footballers tasted success in the All-Ireland Senior Football Championship final, completing the double. We've been looking back on that all day as part of the Go Red for Cork campaign, and which is calling on individuals, companies and community groups to light or dress up in red all day and donate to the campaign, or by texting Marymount to 300 to donate. 4.75% of funds go to Marymount Hospice, with 25% going to Cork GA. So before we get into the action here, we're just going to give you a little taster of some of the interviews and some of the memories we've been looking back on the course of today on irishexaminer.com.
Very strong.
Yeah. Do you know, so that's
very,
what you want, this was going into it.
It was very strong panel, yeah. They were great players, absolutely. David Quirk, Pat Buckley was a super player as well, and
David came on the fine.
David came on the fine, yeah. But the training here was
at half time, like, he fairly called you out. He went down, like, legend has it, he was on his knees.
He was, yeah.
The man, and I know he was a man of prayer, and they had to hit the knees fairly often around then, but like, he just called you out completely on it.
And he called up fellas then, so he stand up there, and he found a bucket of water or something. Did you? Oh, it was freezing water, like.
Well, legend has it, he only said 3 fellas could hold their head up at half time.
I know where you're going here now.
Well, I only hear these things.
You only hear them, yeah. Well, he said, I've only 3 forwards playing for me now. And I put my hand up, like. It wouldn't bother me at all. Just Frank or him, I'd say it. Where's the other fellow with me? Who was the other fellow with me? They all started laughing, like.
Yeah,
and then,
I think that's I think, you know, that's my recollection. I think it took huge pressure off us.
Did you?
You know? It was like
Huge tension, would say, for 12 or 14 minutes, and then someone cracks a joke.
Yeah.
The cannon at half time.
Now, some great memories there. And don't forget, you can look back on all of those interviews on our website, irishexaminer.com/sport/GA. And we will be uploading some of those chats as a podcast over the next 48 hours again. So just to remind you, if you do want to donate, you can do so on the website, www.idonate.ie/Go Red for Cork, or you can text Marymount to 50300 to donate €4. And as I said, 75% of funds going to Marymount Hospice, with 25% going to Cork GAA. Okay, just coming up on 10 minutes before the hour of 7 o'clock, 10 minutes before throw-in on this eagerly anticipated Cork Premier 1 Minor Hurling Championship final between Sarsfields and St. Finbarr. Delighted to have Shawnee McGrath and Eamon Murphy here alongside me. Shawnee, we're going to get the Finbarr's team up on screen there. I'll just go through it very quickly. Dylan McSweeney in goals. Full back line is Rian Doyle, JJ O'Connor and Shane Kennedy. Daniel Kennedy, Ben O'Connor, Matthew Nace in the half back line. Ethan Toomey and Kieran Doolan at midfield. Jeffrey Gowan, Ben Cunningham and Fionn Crowley in the half forward line. And the full forward line is William Buckley, Jack Cahalan and Adam Buckley.
Yeah, and you haven't gone to the back room yet. Some huge names in the back room team as well. Yeah, I was at the Glen game the last day in the semi-final. Superb performance out of the Bars. Some superb players on view. Very balanced all around the field. But for players or for lads that don't really know the minor grade or haven't seen many minor games this year, the standout players would be right down the centre. Ben O'Connor at centre back is still only under 16, but is a huge player for them. He was electric the last day against the Glen. Ethan Toomey was a Cork minor this year. Terribly energetic player. Really beautiful striker of the ball and really energetic. Gets around the field, can score and can track back. Ben Cunningham, Ger Cunningham's son, is a superb striker of the ball as well and takes the frees. And in the inside line then, Adam Buckley is a good hard-working inside player. Jack Cahalan is electric and William Buckley is elusive. He plays in the corner but gets around the field. Sometimes plays as a third midfielder. Got 4 points the last night against the Glen. So very balanced. And then you've got your 4 or 5 standout players. And I suppose you mentioned the 97 team that won it, but the Bars would have been our nemesis in the Glen in that 91, 92, 93 era, and they won 3 in a row. They would have beaten us in the city final each year, and obviously, you know, when your fellas like Jimmy Barry on the line tonight, he was on the line that time as well. So it could be a good omen for the Bars.
How important is it for clubs like the Bars or yourselves in the past to have that minor success at this grade?
Look, it's huge. I mean, it probably was the bedrock of the team that beat Carberry in their last county final in 93, and I remember that time they had some fabulous players that went down and played senior, none more so than Mickey Ryan. I was a Cork minor with Mickey in 93, and Mickey Ryan, I think when he stopped playing club hurling maybe last year, he played junior, and I'm 45. Mickey's probably same age, probably played last year up to 44. So look, it's huge. It sets the foundations. It gives fellas that winning mentality and that winning feeling that maybe can get you over the line when you get up to senior. And I'd expect a lot of these players to have fantastic careers for the Bars down through the next couple of years.
And you mentioned Mick Ryan there. I note lad wearing number 17, Mark Ryan, is his nephew.
Okay.
So there's a bit of a connection there.
And there's connections all over the field. Colm Shane Kennedy, Joe Kennedy's son, Kieran Doolan, Tony Doolan's son. So they're huge, massive legends in that club there.
And of course, we better mention the centre forward's dad as well too.
He wasn't a bad one either.
Right, we'll move over now to the SARS lineup, and some number changes in the subs bench, which won't be up on your screen, and we'll go through those a little later. But no changes, by the way, from the starting teams to what you see up on the screens as well. SARS team, so in goals it's Nisha Marin, the full back line Dara Murray, Luke Elliott and Zach O'Sullivan. Half back line is Jack Bowen, Colin McCarthy and Olin Kelleher. Midfield Colin McCarthy and Louis Casey. Half forward line Jeremy Kingston, Oren Shepherd and Ben Nodwell. And the full forward line David Lynch, Flynn O'Brien and number 15 Daniel Hogan. Eamon, I'll bring you in here at number 15. Daniel Hogan might be still a minor, but well able to mix it amongst the big boys as well.
Yeah, look, he's a serious prospect. I suppose he scored 2 goals in senior championship this year. Fierce disappointment for Sars to lose to their great rivals at the weekend, but Daniel got a goal again. No, he struggled at times in the game, I suppose, because it was a tough attritional type of match. But look, when you're 18 years of age, you're able to play senior, start for your club, get a goal. There aren't a lot of fellas can do that. The last match in the semi-final, he had actually missed the previous 2 games through suspension, but he hit 113 against Ballincollig, and he really was the biggest difference in the night in that semi-final. Stars were the better team, no doubt about it, but I mean, he got 1-4 from play. He was fouled for another 4 the freeze he put over, so he was excellent, a top class player. But Stars are strong everywhere in the field. They won the 16 county 2 years ago, so I suppose they would have been expected to be at this stage or there or thereabouts. They won all 4 of their matches so far quite convincingly. So they have been the team to beat from the outset. As well as Daniel, Colin McCarthy in midfield was also Cork minor last year. And Ben Nodwell is on this year's kind of extended minor panel, and he actually plays his hurling with St. Coleman, so he'd have a good exposure to Harty Cup hurling there as well, So he's a serious player. But genuinely, Sars, just 1 to 15, they're really, really solid. And a lot of their players as well are in a P1 semi-final with Glanmire next week.
That's what I was just going to ask. This discussion, especially we're seeing it in the older grades about managing dual issues and everything like that. And yeah, I was going through the team. I think there's about 6 of them that are playing football as well too.
Yes, and Glanmire won the P2 football last year. So I think Glanmire have made a bigger effort in the last 4 or 5 years. I think John O'Driscoll was involved for a while, the former All-Ireland winner in 1990. We're throwing it back today, but he was involved in kind of rebooting their underage, and they have made a much kind of more concerted effort to keep their players maybe from 12 up to minor, whereas before lads were probably at fail age kind of going towards the hurling, which is very young to be picking a code in. So they've kept more of their players on board now. I mean, Daniel Hogan is playing this year. I don't think he played football last year, so it's a sign that, and no matter what, when you're underage, if you can go well in both codes, the momentum is massive. It's huge for them,
I suppose as well too, this year, lads, the situation we find ourselves in and the new formats and everything like that, it's been an incredible achievement just to get us to this night, isn't it?
Yeah, it has. I said the players themselves were bursting to get out there, obviously with the closed season throughout the summer. It's gas tonight. 16th of September, you'll be saying it could be a dirty wet night, and it's like a middle of July night. It's incredible really. But I've seen some of the games, and I know a lot of these players. Like Eamon said, that 16 county that Sars played a couple of years ago, that won a couple of years ago, they beat us up the dike the same night. We were 11 points up going into injury time, and Daniel Hogan was the difference. Like, he got 3 goals, he went in full forward. So it's gas to see them here now, and the Glen being beaten by the Bars in the semi-final and not being able to contest it. The last couple of years it's been dominated by sort of the Glen, Sars and Middleton, and the Bars at under 14. The Glen beat them in under 14 county that time, but they've been a little bit behind the pecking order, say. But certainly in the last 12 months, the likes of Brian Hurley and Pat Keane coming in, and then just dealing with COVID, those fellas have managed it superbly. I know the lads well. The effort they've put in has been monumental. They've got their team in peak fitness, and then obviously having Jimmy on the line throwing a couple of words of wisdom is no harm either.
Just seeing the 2 captains going in there for the toss, Ethan Toomey and Luke Elliott. If anything to go by, there's a couple of big lads playing here tonight, Eamon.
Absolutely. actually plays full forward for the footballers. He's a towering young fella. It was very, very good all through the championship from at the edge of the square. He's minded the house very well for him. And I suppose one person to look out for Sars if he makes an appearance is their number 26, Rory O'Brien. He scored 3-13 when they played the Glen. Now the Glen were short quite a few of their main starters. It was the last group game. Both teams were through, but regardless, he scored 3-13. I mean, that's all you need to know. He actually, you're mentioning the Jewel thing, I suppose he did get injured on football duty, but he's back available off the bench tonight, so that could make a difference. You know, he's a serious forward, big strong guy.
In your role, Eamon, with the Evening Echo, you're here, there and everywhere covering these underage games. What has the standard been like across the Rebel Oak spectrum this year?
I think it's been very strong, very, very enjoyable. You know, look, the first game I actually covered was down in Barry Row, Iban Gales, and like they deserve a special mention for the fact that like it's an amalgamation between Argadine Rangers and Barry Row, but they actually went and played P1 in both competitions this year, and they actually have a home semi-final coming up in football. Like, it's incredible for them. Like, the easy option would be maybe to play P2, but they decided to go for it, go up and play in both codes. Now, you know, they lost their 3 group games in the hurling and they were a little bit off the pace, but like they went up and competed, and you know, that says it all really. You've the guts to go up and play against the stronger clubs, and I do think there's been 4 or 5 very good teams, and even tomorrow night in the P2 final, Cantork probably were good enough nearly to play P1, and St. Coleman's would have previously won the P2 competition 5 years ago when Donlogue was over one of their teams. You know, so like there's a very, very good standard, certainly in the top 2 grades, and it probably helps that I suppose the grades are condensed to 8 teams, so it's a bit like what Cork have done now in the adult competitions. You're streaming them down, everyone's playing in a competition with 8 teams roughly in it. Everyone has a reasonable chance of winning, or the top 4 or 5 teams have a reasonable chance of winning, and that just creates a better standard. Okay,
the Minter is starting to come off the field, and we'll be getting ready our referee this afternoon, the ever experienced Colin McAllister, here this evening. About 2 minutes to throw in. Right, lads, decision time. I'll start with you after the national anthem. Of course, nice to hear some cheers as well too for the national anthem. The change in legislation in the last number of days mean that we have fans here. We have approximately 200 people in Porkyrinn this evening. So very quickly, lads, time to nail your colours to the mast. Murph, we'll go with you first.
I think I'd have a slight preference for Sars, just maybe on the basis that they have more players on the age. The Bars are relying, I suppose, on lads who are under 16, maybe playing up. A lot of the Sars team is on the age, and I suppose they have Rory O'Brien as well to come in off the bench. So a slight nod for Sars.
Shawnee?
And to balance the books, I'll go with the Bars simply because I think they've got a couple of match winners, none more so than Jack Allen, the full forward line.
Okay, well, we'll see. Delighted to be here this evening, and what a beautiful evening it is in Porkyrinn and Cork to be live streaming this Rebel Oak final, and our thanks to Nick O'Mahony and all involved with Rebel Oak for helping facilitate us and get us covering this game, which has been attracting massive attention over the last number of days since the semi-finals. Anyway, Sars and the early ascendancy, and already going looking for a goal strike. And we've a man in there, the centre forward, that was Oran Shepherd. But, gone to ground, eventually been brought out by the centre back Ben O'Connor. Relieving clearance by him down as far as Jeffrey Gowan. Clean pair of heels by Gowan. He's got a man inside him if he wants, but happy to go himself. Gowan going short in towards his corner forward. That's Adam Buckley, and it's back to Gowan, and Gowan off the right, and the opening score of the evening, and an impressive turn of pace there from the wing forward, Johnny.
Great score, yeah. And on the other end, I think Daniel probably would have been better off slipping, get himself into the game early. He came out and controlled a great ball, but maybe overcomplicated, and maybe a point would have been a better option. But good counter attack and a great score from the Bears.
They went for it. Falls all the way to Daniel Kennedy. First cousins of the cornerback Shane Kennedy, but he can only pick out that was Jake Bowen. Apologies.
Hogan again.
Let's get back. Great ball in here, and Sars going goalwards there, and the shot coming across. Great save by the goalkeeper, Daniel Hogan, showing his early danger there, but the goalkeeper Dylan McSweeney standing up to it.
Yeah, great take out of the air. I mean, again, the advantage of being good air, really. He took it nice and handily in the air, turned his man, but a great save in fairness with young McSweeney in goal. The tradition of good Bars goalkeepers looks alive and well there.
Absolutely. And it's interesting to see that the Bars are really trying to isolate Jack Cahalan up top in the first couple of plays there, as you predicted. William Buckley is out around the middle of the field, and there's an awful lot of space at one end, whereas Daniel Hogan had far less space there when he was going for the goal.
And 'tisn't as if you're sacrificing Williams' game, because he himself actually revels in that role as well, doesn't he?
Absolutely.
So Hogan had the shot. He's now standing over the 65. Perfect conditions for a free taker this evening. There's hardly a puff of wind here in Páirc Uí Rinn. He gets a good connection on that. Straight over, had plenty more in it if he needed it. And that is the opening point for Sars, and the equaliser here with just over 2.5 minutes gone. Dylan McSweeney, his granddad Brian was a famous soccer player with Cork Celtic, but we're watching his goalkeeping prowess tonight. It's young Gowan again, dispossessed though, as Sars tracking back on him. The help there from midfielder Kieran Doolan, opting to go back, and the shot there from distance has trailed wide.
He might have been better recycling. William Buckley was free.
Nisha Marin is the man in goals for Sars tonight. Fine puck out yet again from him, dropping here in front of us, but the centre back unlucky Ben O'Connor on that occasion, as it's fallen to Jeremy Kingston. Kingston opting to go back to Oran Shepherd, trying to pick out a man inside him. That was his other wing forward. Back to Oran. Now it's with the cornerback, would you believe, Zach O'Sullivan, and the shot from O'Sullivan has trailed wide. But interesting to see that Zach O'Sullivan coming all the way up there, as he was keeping track of the corner forward, William Buckley. Very open start to the action here tonight. Colin McCarthy getting it off. Oh, wonderful hand going up there from the centre forward. That's Ben Cunningham, and that is a fine score from Ben Cunningham. Beautiful pass to pick him out.
That's a great ball, right to left. Cunningham is really strong and athletic. Put his hand up and finding competently took it out of there. But in fairness to Eaton, he's been finding busy around midfield, and that was a fabulous ball across the field.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic ball. But you have to credit the centre forward for the catch and indeed the point. You also have to credit the corner forward at the other end of the field, Daniel Hogan. We spoke beforehand of his talent, Murph, and already in the opening few minutes he's showing all his class.
Yeah, he's really good in the air. I suppose the same way Ben Cunningham plucked the ball out of the air there. He's just hugely dangerous, and I suppose it's remarkable to have a player that good and playing in corner forward. Most teams would have him centre back, where he would have been when he was younger, or possibly centre forward. But he's actually excellent coming out into that and just so dangerous in that corner.
Yeah, and that's him there, and lovely little pass off to his cornerback to Zach O'Sullivan. But great play by the Bars to recycle possession, and off we go here. It's coming out to Cunningham yet again. Nice shot from Cunningham, and a great score. But that was mind developed and won out from that interception, and huge credit to the man there at the top of your screen winning out, William Buckley, named the corner forward, but is in that kind of floating midfield row.
Yeah, and I suppose the night of the Glen as well, maybe the Glen didn't follow him for the early parts tonight. The Stars have made a decision that Zach O'Sullivan will follow him early and give him no space, but that's exactly what William does. He takes you on, he can score himself, and if not, he's not he's got his creative mind, he's able to throw it around, and it was a fabulous score, and he set it up very well for Ben Cunningham.
And the man marking him, Zach O'Sullivan, just picking up a yellow card there, the first of the night. Huge pressure though being applied by St. Finbarr in the opening few minutes here. Shot there from Jack Allan. He's been quite so far tonight and has driven that one wide, but I wouldn't be banking on Jack Cahalan remaining quiet for too long in this game.
No, and it's actually uncharacteristic of him to miss from that angle, like anywhere from 50 metres, and he's normally deadly, but I'm sure he'll be on the next ball and creating havoc again.
It's back there with Ethan Toomey coming back to help out his defence. As I must say, looking ravenous in the opening few minutes here. Big ball down on top of Cunningham. Colin McCarthy on that occasion getting it out. It's with Colin McCarthy, his cousin. High dangerous ball into the goalkeeper, who fumbled it but did very well at the second attempt, and especially with the sun in his eyes to get it out. Credit there to Dylan McSweeney, but haven't managed to clear their lines. David Lynch going right across the field and making huge pressure there on Louis Casey, who's lost it. And it's Ben O'Connor who's relieving it down towards his corner forward, and that's Adam Buckley in towards Cahalan, being pulled back with the referee waving play on, and Cahalan takes it all in his stride but drives it wide. That's uncharacteristic 2 wides in quick succession there from Jack Cahalan. Looked like Luke Elliott was fouling him, but the referee allowing play on.
Yeah, what's very noticeable though early doors, Cullum, is how aggressive the Bars are on the tackle. They're hunting impacts, and in fairness they dispossessed the Sars forward and got it down the field in the corner. Adam Buckley pulled hard and gave a great ball, and a little bit uncharacteristic, but Jack has been fine and bright so far.
Olin Kelleher trying to find his centre forward with a wonderful piece of feeling by Ben O'Connor there. The battle of Ben and Oran Shepherd there. And out it comes there with Ethan Toomey. Has a man behind him if he needs it, and a man in the corner forward, and that's William Buckley. But this occasion, Zach O'Sullivan getting the better of him, and off goes Zach O'Sullivan to the cheers of the fans behind us. He's flipped it over the head of Ben Nodwell. Nodwell trying to make an angle, forced to go back to Flynn O'Brien, the full forward. O'Brien, the shot, great hook coming in there. It looked to be Ben O'Connor that got in it. And the bar is grateful for that relieving clearance, but it can only come as far as Jake Bowen, and a wonderful block again there by William Buckley down there.
This is a great passage of play, isn't
it? These are the type of clips that pop up on Twitter and YouTube, you know, from some of the best games. It's just the sheer intensity of it and the work rate and the effort. Sars possibly are trying to work a few goals there when they're not on, maybe, Shawnee. They could have popped the ball over the bar there again.
Yeah.
Full forward Flynn O'Brien might have been better just getting a score, taking a score rather than trying to force the goal. There was a lot of bodies between him and the keeper.
Big time. Credit Zach O'Sullivan, in fairness, for coming down the lane and giving a great ball in. But I think you're right, clip a few over and get yourself just steady down a little bit.
Yeah, it seems to be a bit rushed timing again there from Sars. Eventually they're trying to get the ball in there. It was the wing forward, but great play by the wing back Daniel Kennedy to get across on that occasion. High ball, 3 Bars men under it, misses all of them. Eventually it's found by one of the Sars midfielders, that's Louis Casey. Back he goes to Zach O'Sullivan, who seems to be the man that's offloading quite a lot of balls there, but it's it's Daniel Kennedy who gets on it, and eventually it's Kieran Doolan opting to go out as far as his other midfield colleague Ethan Toomey, and the powerful clearance by Toomey just to try and relieve a bit of pressure as he lands it down on top of Jack Cahalan. But it's Sars who are coming out with Cathal McCarthy working it out there towards the wing back Olin Kelleher trying to make an angle for himself. You can see they're trying to get it in towards their full forward line, but it's well marshalled back there. All credit to the Bars defence. They're back in numbers. Great play there by the corner forward Buckley. Being pulled back with the referee playing a good advantage. Ethan Toomey now on the ball. Rides past the first tackle of Zach O'Sullivan, who'd want to be careful. He's on a yellow already. And eventually it's William Buckley who gets the shot away and gets the point. But this lad Buckley is causing massive trouble in and around that centre section.
He's a serious player, and in fairness, again, the Bars, typical Bars, like, you know, if you're going to give a pass, give it a hand, give it fast, real Jimmy Barry style, you know, no messing around with it. So from the backs out, it was super, but a brilliant bit of play between Ethan Toomey, interchanging play between Ethan and William. But he's deadly accurate. As I said, he got 4 brilliant points against the Lind last. He's well able, that young fella.
Colin McCarthy on a bit of a run here. Still McCarthy opting out, and unfortunately he was trying to find Daniel Hogan, but the pass was just that bit overcooked. and goes out over the end line. But again, back to what you're saying, is there a sensation that SARS are trying to go for goal every time
they seem to be forcing to play small, but I suppose look, the Bars also are dropping a bit deeper. Ethan Toomey is effectively, playing between the 65 and the 20 metre line to block things up. Obviously Willie Buckley is out there as well. Ben O'Connor is protecting the D. The last score that Willie got came off Ben with a great catch, and great brave defending. So it's probably suiting the Bars the way the game is. They're not getting as much ball into the other end of the pitch, but they've still created chances when they have got it down there. Whereas SARS are kind of having to work things through a kind of crowded area. So I suppose that's why the Bars are 2 points up.
Yeah. Colin McCarthy going to take the sideline here in front of us. A hugely talented footballer as well. He's no mean hurler, as we've seen in the opening exchanges here. That's Daniel Hogan down there, opting to flip it right across in front, looking for his wing forward. That's Ben Nodwell, and the shot from Nodwell has gone over. But credit Hogan, he didn't have a huge lot on himself, but had the foresight to go right across the field and saw the free man.
Absolutely, and when you're out and when you don't want the Holy Mary shots, like silly shots out trying to score from impossible angles, but he's a cute player and he gave a great ball across. And in fairness to Nodwell, again, the aerial stuff is noticeable again early on, how capable and competent fellas are at taking the ball out of the air cleanly.
Okay, I think SARS starting to settle a small bit after that score, and they're going to get it looked like it was going to be a sideline there, but the referee claimed there was a push in the back, I think, and he's awarding a free to St. Finbarr's. It looked like the ball had gone off a Bars player, but the referee deemed that there had been a push in the back, and as a result it's Ben Cunningham here in front of us, just outside the 65-yard line with the free, not the sideline. He's got a big target man inside if he wants, in Jack Cahalan. Let's see what he's going to produce here.
Let's go.
If it was a senior player, we'd be oohing and ahhing. You have to pinch yourself to remind that this is minor.
That's it, yeah. Ben is well able. I've seen him all the way up. I remember when we were involved, when Gerard was involved with Cork, he was only a little Garsuno, pucking around with us, himself and his other brother, Sam, I think. But he's developed into a physique, fantastic specimen of a young fella, and hurling wise, he has it all.
Absolutely incredible indeed. And as you said, the pedigree there. Daniel Hogan has some pedigree tonight. Let's see what he's going to work out of this one. Forced to go back as far as Jeremy Kingston. Kingston being pulled back by Matthew Mason. Hogan getting in on it again. Oh, heavy collision there between the full back and the full forward. But Flynn O'Brien has the ball, does ever so well to maintain possession, but his pass is only as far as Ben O'Connor, who's going to work it back with his full back JJ O'Connor. The O'Connor brothers. And that's a wonderful play there out as far as Jeffrey Gowan, who got the opening point of the night, playing it first time in as far as Jack Cahalan. Cahalan holding off two players, still looking for his first score of the evening. He's gone back to his centre forward, to Ben Cunningham, and Ben Cunningham is after hitting a shot there from 40 yards, but has hit that one wide. We'll give him that one, given some of the heroics that he's managed over the last 10 minutes or so. Real bite, real championship feel to this game here tonight, as Jeremy Kingston comes on, takes a heavy shoulder from the centre back, but drives on past Ben O'Connor, offloading it back to the midfielder. That's Louis Casey. Casey's shot dropping in and around Flynn O'Brien. Oh, what a save by the goalkeeper! What a save by Dylan McSweeney. Had no right to get down to that one. Looked to be a fantastic ball to O'Brien, who just turned and struck, and the goalkeeper instinctively got down. How he got to that was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, an astonishing save, really. I mean, it was point blank, effectively, for a player of Daniel Hogan's talents. But not only did he save it, like he's put it out wide as opposed, or for 65 as opposed to over the bar. Absolutely terrific save. Again, though, I suppose that SARS will probably say that a goal almost feels like it's coming at the same time.
Yeah, they're first side. Yeah, Hogan is a huge threat. He started very, very brightly. He scored. He's created scores. He's on 2 points at 65 and a point, and he set up Ben Nodwell score. So he's actually effectively involved in all three scores. Yes. He was unlucky not to get a goal, and that was the second one he was unlucky not to get. But sometimes little cameos like that can spur you on as well. See, on the bar side, almost like we will not be, thou shalt not pass kind of attitude. Yes. So, in fairness to the goalie inside, he'll do his confidence no harm.
And huge applause there from the SARS contingent, and we have our first water break of the evening. They're well deserved, I must say, in this kind of warm, humid, muggy weather. 5 points to 4 on the scoreboard. It's been tight, it's been tense, it's been exciting, everything that we predicted would be.
Yeah, I mean the key players are standing up before the game. Eamon had highlighted Daniel Hogan, and he's been a revelation so far. And on the Bar side, look, Ben O'Connor, he's been in and out of the game, but he's still doing the right things. He hasn't been spectacular, but he's doing the right things. He's been competent on the ball. In attack, Ben Cunningham has been superb. 3 scores, 1 wide. Jack Cahalane has been busy, 2 wides, but busy. And William Buckley has been really, really buzzing around and creating scores, and he gave one fantastic ball for Ben Cunningham. So what's noticeable so far is how well the key players are performing.
I say from a SARS perspective, will they have to reassess how they're managing young Buckley in that kind of free-floating role?
I suppose the only positive for them is that Zach O'Sullivan, who's followed Buckley out, has been on an awful lot of ball. He's played in a couple of the balls for some of the goal chances. He is on a yellow card though, which as you mentioned there right ago, might make things difficult for him. But I suppose they'll probably be happy enough in that he's still hurling, and at the end of the day, Buckley is in the middle third. If they had a lot of possession and he was closer to goal, he still would be a bigger threat. I think the thing Stars will be happiest about is that they have kept Jack Cahalane on the periphery. He could have had a couple of points, but generally they've managed him quite well. They've spoiled him a couple of times when the ball has come in, but I suppose it's those missed goal chances are the reason the Bars are ahead.
Yeah. There still isn't a point in it.
Yeah, and there's nothing in it.
There is nothing in it. We're back underway with Dylan McSweeney, who's produced not one but 2 great saves in the opening 15 minutes of the action here. Cathal McCarthy getting a great ball down towards Hogan, takes a bang to the face, but continues on nonetheless, and there's a chance coming up here from this. Oh, what a goal! What a goal from 14 yards. Was it more? Goalkeeper, we were singing his praises a few moments ago, but there was nothing that he could do about that. It was Ben Nodwell that got it off. We mentioned him, Eamon, beforehand, and wow.
Yeah, I suppose their perseverance in going for goals paid off in first. Colin McAllister, he also let the play flow on when it would have been a free for a foul on Hogan, and a great ball out of defence by Colin McCarthy. He picked out a lovely ball in front, and Hogan's touch was magnificent, brilliantly finished too by Nodwell. A great goal.
And there's Ben Nodwell yet again taking a shot there from about 50 yards, but that one has trailed wide. That was something, I suppose all coaches will tell you when you're taking a shot for goal, keep it low and hard, and that was everything.
He clung it, and then just reference to what Eamon said, in fairness to Cahill, another ref might have blown it up early, but he let the advantage play out and see what happened, and then obviously Daniel Roach had the vision and the accuracy to give it to the parents' side, and a fantastic finish low and into the left corner.
And
the goalie's right.
What a start as well too. Just after the water break, we were still grabbing our breath up here, and he, as Shawnee said, clung it into the bottom corner there. Some strike by Nodwell, and Dylan McSweeney eventually being beaten. So it's Kieran Doolan who's standing over this sideline. His dad Tony was cornerback back in 1993, would you believe, when Bars won the county championship. But ball from him, finding young William Buckley, and William Buckley, is that his first second of the evening?
He's what you'd call kind of tasty, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's still under 16, lads, you know what I mean? He's 2 more years of minor after this. It shows how good he is, and now he'll certainly feature for Donald Cusack and the lads that imagine at Cork minor this year.
Nodwell has come into the game even in the last few minutes with boosted by that goal ball. I don't think it was meant for him, but it trickled all the way through towards Daniel Hogan, and Hogan getting the shot, and the goalkeeper having to be alert to it. Did well, and it's taken up by the centre back down there, Ben O'Connor. Bit of a limp on him as he comes out, but it was kind of a shot out of nothing from Hogan, but the goalkeeper McSweeney alerted, and good play by the centre back as well too to help in terms of the clearance. That's a great play by William Buckley to anticipate the break. Off goes William Buckley. Buckley still was trying to get it across the field, but ball cut out by Jake Bowen, and SARS clearing their lines here in front of us, and it's Jeremy Kingston under it, but all credit to Ethan Toomey, who's after clearing it all up, and he's going back as far as Daniel Kennedy. First time ball by Kennedy in towards the corner, but there's no one there. Well, Jack Kennedy's after turning on the afterburners in a bid to get there, and he's after getting there, and he's after connecting as well with the fullback Luke Elliott. 2 big units colliding there.
Good Cahalan bump.
Yeah. I suppose Cahalan is probably itching to get more involved now at this point. He just hasn't really got the supply. If you compare the ball that's got into Daniel Hogan and how many touches he's got, Cahalan hasn't got the same. But I think that's a byproduct of the Bars bringing so many people behind the ball too. Sars do have a sweeper at all times because of that.
Great ball out of defence there, but great defending by the Bars. They have 2 men involved. One of them was the corner back down there. Rian Doyle loses possession. Eventually trying to get it up there is David Lynch. The other, that's a wonderful block there by Fionn Crowley. That's a small bit messy there, and eventually goes back to Ben O'Connor. He's sitting back there. A great delivery to the other Ben, to Ben Cunningham. Cunningham being held up there by Jake Bowen, opting to go outside to the ever-eager William Buckley. Buckley dropping it in on top of Jack Cahalan. He's to the other corner forward to Adam Buckley. But the cornerback there, Dara Murray, coming back to help out, and he's got it out as far as Colin McCarthy. McCarthy is a runner inside him. And off it goes. It is Hector. Lovely piece of fielding there by Ben O'Connor to cut out the danger. Putting Ethan Toomey under a bit of pressure, but at the second time of asking, Toomey gets it. And Toomey from well over 70 yards is after clearing the crossbar. But you have to say, great work there by Ben O'Connor originally to take down that ball and to pick out Toomey.
Yeah, what's noticeable on both sides is their ability to find the man in the best place. In fairness, the Sars are the same. No silly, aimless shooting. Ben O'Connor could have driven that and just ballooned it really, but he didn't. He looked up. Eaton was calling for it. And he has that in his locker. Eaton can get scores like that all night. He's a fabulous long-range striker.
Poor ball there by Ben Nodwell, and that's meat and potatoes all day long for Ben O'Connor, who sees the free coming, sees the tackle coming, wins the free, and happily gets them underway again here. Great ball by Jack Cahalan coming out to win it. He's going to go back as far as Ben Cunningham. Cunningham from the area. He scored a point a few moments ago, and Cunningham has added to his tally, but Jack Cahalan did ever so well to win the ball. And again, back to what you said, had the foresight not to do the silly thing, give it to the man in a better place.
It's a great sign of a player. Like Eamon referenced it earlier, a little bit anxious, maybe wants to get into the play, but still he's a team player. The easy option there would have been to have a snapshot, get myself on the scoreboard, but he showed great composure and great team ethics to throw it back to Ben.
Great sign, Shawnee, in any player, but I think more so when it's a
star player, and a star player, you know, who's talked up so much. You know, I mean, you could believe the hype and say, well, I've got to win this game on my own. But look, I suppose Jack's probably conscious of the fact. I mean, in last year's under-16 county final, the Bars only had 2 scorers. Ben Cunningham and Willie Buckley, and they still won the match. Do you know what I mean? So he knows how good the players are around him, and they've actually cancelled out the goal now with the last 3 points.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone will question his talent if he doesn't score here anyway tonight. We've seen him so many times for the Bars, and of course in the Harty Cup as well too, last year and the year before. There he is on the ball. It's Jack Cahalan, shot by Cahalan, and that one has gone over the bar. Must have been listening to us up here.
He's great feet, like to be. And he's on no slouch in Luke Elliott. Luke is a fabulous player as well, but he has a great turn of pace with a brilliant score.
2 hugely powerful men inside there, aren't they? Back with Sars and Colin McCarthy driving it in there towards the corner forward. That's Daniel Hogan, the go-to man inside in the attack for them, opting to go back as far as Louis Casey, and Casey, the midfielder on the edge of the exclusion zone, hopping it over and pushing it to 1 goal and 5 points to 9 points. It is breathtaking, breathless stuff here with 24 minutes of our live stream. This is the Cork Premier 1 Rebel Ogue Minor Hurling Championship final, and we're delighted to be covering this game with thanks to Rebel Ogue as well on the Irish Examiner live stream service. We've a busy weekend coming up, and I'll tell you a bit more about that later on. Football all the way in the championship on Sunday, but we're here for hurling tonight, and we're watching 2 superpowers in the city going head to head, the Bars and Sars, and I'll tell you, you're enjoying every moment of this wherever you're watching in the world. That's young Ben O'Connor on the ball. Lovely little dink of a ball, just overcooked, and well played by the on-rushing centre back there, Cathal McCarthy. Taking the return, bounces off his head, but assistance coming from Jeremy Kingston, and he's caught up, and it's down on the feet there as William Buckley is trying to get it up and jinking this way and that way. Reminds me of a certain Shawnee. Am I wrong in that comparison?
He's a lot better. He's reading it well, Colin McCarthy.
Yeah, Colin McCarthy is hurling an awful lot of ball for Sarsfields, to be fair to him. But I suppose Ben O'Connor's do likewise. Two very, very good centre-backs. Super players.
Daniel Hogan out there riding through 2 tackles, going to the other corner forward. That's David Lynch. Lynch going right across to the edge of the exclusion zone, and the shot being taken there by the centre forward. That is Oran Shepherd. And credit Lynch as well. Back to, again, the message that you've been driving home. Always looking for the man in a better position.
Absolutely, and like, I found myself throwing an awful lot of praise on the Bars over the last couple of minutes. But to be fair to Sars, as you said yourself, they're throwing it around great. It's a draw game. I mean, looking at the ratio scores, we're on a score nearly every minute and a half. So the ferocity of scoring is brilliant. Here's
Jack
another one again.
Cahalane feeding Ben Cunningham, and Ben Cunningham popping it over. You can't take your eyes off this for a second, lads. It is absolutely stunning. They are giving it all. It's just such a pity that we don't have a larger crowd here in Páirc Uí Rinn this evening. But we do have, as I said, with the change in regulations, we have 200 people here this evening. That's excluding, obviously, the players and the media, what have you. That's David Lynch there on the ball breaking down to Oran Shepherd. And the shot coming off there from the edge from the centre forward, and that's gone over the bar, and that's making it 1 goal and 7 points to 10 points. A draw game here, 10 points to the Bars, 1-7 to the Sarsfields with just on 27 minutes gone. Ben Cunningham in a titanic battle there with Cathal McCarthy. Ben Cunningham getting the shot out from the sideline. Well, I think
that was an outrageous point, really.
The applause there in the background tells you all you need to know. He's done it here in front of us. He's done it there on the far side. Absolutely fantastic. And as you mentioned, Cathal McCarthy, the man he's marking, is actually still having quite an influence on the game.
Yeah, I suppose it's the quality of Ben's striking is astonishing. I mean, that was a wonder point,
Absolutely.
Wonder point.
Mistake there has David Lynch, but it's Ben O'Connor that comes back right across the front of the goal, and the one man you don't want it is Hogan, and Hogan's radar just off on this occasion. But that was a mistake by the cornerback there, Rian Doyle. Hand pass going astray, was picked up by David Lynch. Ball finding its way to Daniel Hogan, and uncharacteristic from Hogan, the shot going wide. Referee Cathal McAllister just having a quick word there in the ear of Ben O'Connor. Not sure what the issue was there. But that was a let-off there when Daniel Hogan finds himself about 10 yards from goal. There's a few flutters amongst the Finbarr's contingent here. Treatment going in for Hogan there. Looks to be a little rap on the knuckles. Should be okay. And he's back up on his feet and heading in towards the well, shall we say the full forward position, but he's been here, there and everywhere across that action front line. Oh, wonderful piece of fielding there by David Lynch. Looked to have taken a bit of a push in the back, and David Lynch on this occasion has opted to go his own. We've been praising the likes of the lads who've opted to go with the short pass. He backed himself there, and from 50 yards, great score.
Great score, and referencing the Jack Halanes, the Ben Cunninghams, but Jeffrey Gowan on the Bar side, David Lynch, fellas like that, who mightn't be as householdy names maybe at the minor grade as other players. They're all contributing and doing very well.
Coming out there is the wing back Olin Kelleher, finding Colin McCarthy. That's him there, opening up in front of him. There's a Bars player going to come across him, but he's going to get the shot off. He saw the danger coming from Matthew Nason, the wing back, out of the corner of his eye, and McCarthy pulled the trigger just as the collision was imminent, and pointing it and putting his side into a 1 point lead, 1-9 to 11 points here with 29 and a half minutes elapsed. What an evening, what a game, what a championship, what class from the two sides here this evening. End-to-end stuff. Louis Casey getting it in towards Daniel Hogan. This occasion the defender doing well to stall it up and force Hogan to go across the field and force Hogan to waste that ball, and Matthew Nason is there, but a poor delivery by Nason, and the ball has been played in, and it's the full forward who's under it. That's Flynn O'Brien. O'Brien still rounding the full back. The shot from O'Brien into the bottom corner. Flynn O'Brien has been threatening that all night. He turned and twisted JJ O'Connor this way and that way, And in the end, he got his just rewards.
Yeah, probably a missed shot actually from the lad outside, but good awareness inside from Flynn, and that's 5 of the SAR starting 6 now that have scored, so they're gradually starting to get on top.
And it was Zach O'Sullivan played the ball in, as you said, it was a miss hit shot, but he got on possession.
Still
again.
busy,
Yeah.
Darren Murray, the corner back there, coming up, losing possession, but they gone out over the sideline. It's going to be a relief there for the Bars here in front of us.
But that's another example, I suppose, Eamon, of the intriguing battles. Zach on William Buckley, Oran centre forward for SARS on Ben O'Connor.
Yeah.
Ethan Toomey on Colin McCarthy. Just the battles are
doing
intriguing,
well.
and they're all doing well. All 6 of them are doing well.
It's Jack Cahalan being fouled there. What an epic battle he's having down there with Luke Elliott. And it looks like it'll be Ben Cunningham territory, I'd say, on this one. It's a bit closer to goal, but we won't jinx him by saying anything.
No, and I suppose the one word I'd always describe Jack Cahalan as is composed. He's got great composure. When he's out of a game, he never gets giddy when the ball comes in. Some players, when they don't see ball for 5 or 10 minutes, it comes in and they're a bit sloppy and their first touch mightn't be great, but Jack always shows great composure. I know more so than they were into nearly beyond 30 minutes now. He hasn't scored, but again, he won a great free for his team there.
So Ben Cunningham standing over this one. 35 yards out. Ben Cunningham, clean connection, being called as a wide ball by some here in front of us. We're waiting. No, the umpire happy to give it the white flag, and with that, the final score of the opening half of this Premier 1 Rebel Oak final here. Now, we talked about the excitement that was coming around this game. People were contacting me during the week wondering how could they get in, could they watch it, etc. And we're delighted to be live streaming it. Lads, this is the typical game that deserves to be live streamed and to be seen by as many people as possible, isn't it?
Absolutely. I suppose, look, the only upside probably, about the lockdown, and that's not just because we're covering it now, but in general across the country, is the amount of hurling and football we've got to see that we never would have seen before. And I include myself in that, even as someone who covers a lot of games, because with streams you can pick them back up afterwards. You can go to a game on a Saturday night, come back and watch them again, and obviously there's like the famous soundbite like Blarney had the other night and things like that, and they're great moments. We didn't have those before, and they're showcasing just GA, and this is showcasing Cork hurling at its best, and it doesn't surprise me because the standard has been very good all season. These were the 2 favourites coming in, they're here, and both teams are hurling superbly.
The heroics of Pop have become a cult sensation
stuff,
in Blarney, but like if you were to take a few clips from tonight, there's plenty to be looking at.
The skill levels are huge, and I think the skill levels in hurling in general have never been as high as they are. I mean, young fellas now, when you see them, I was involved with a minor team there last year, and like some of the stuff they can do now, I think if they were doing it 15 years ago, they'd be, talking about it and reveling about it and saying, just that's incredible. Whereas now it's sort of common day stuff and common players being able to control balls at high pace. Most fellas can do it. I think what's standing out tonight for me has been the performance so far of William Buckley, but on the other side, Zach O'Sullivan. It's a brilliant battle. I love that, where a fella comes out the field, takes the team on, gets on the ball. But in fairness to SARS, they've shown courage, because some fellas might leave them off, or they mightn't go as deep, or they might get their half forward line to come back. But they've gone out and they've told Zach, you go mark him, but you play your own game. And as Eamon referenced, he came down the line here and created a score, or almost created a score. It might have been a bit of a miss shot, but he still got it. And what that does then as well is it plants a small bit of a seed of doubt maybe in William Buckley's head that maybe I need to go back a bit more conventional or go back inside. So all those battles are intriguing. Obviously the standout performance has been Ben Cunningham. I think he's on 7, but 5 from play. 5 over the course of 60 minutes is good going, but to get 5 scores after 30 minutes of play, and some of them weren't easy scores. They were well created by players outside him, but the one outside here in the right wing forward position was the score of the game. So loads of standout moments. And just to reference on the SARS side, like I've been kind of talking a lot about the Bars and their backroom team. Sean McCarthy, Pat Ryan and these fellas, like I was involved with the Glenstead under 14 level all the up. The amount of work that Sean McCarthy has done with SARS has been phenomenal for the last couple of years. It's a testament to what you can do if you put it in. Like what he's got out of those players, they adore him. He puts his heart and soul into it. And for all the waxing lyrical and all the great stuff we're saying about the Bars, it's SARS that are ahead. Yes, they might have been overdoing the goal stuff, but it's the goals that are putting them ahead. Daniel Roach, Flynn O'Brien, they definitely have an eye for goal inside. They've got a game plan, they're sticking to it, and it'll be a big challenge for the Bears now to get back into this game in the second half. There's still only 3 points in it, but for me, Sars are after pushing themselves on top in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, and I suppose, look, the big thing for Sars is that they have held Jack Cahalan to that 1 point. Could have been a goal, right? It was a rasper of a shot and he turned his man well and he got fouled there just for half time. They've kept him relatively quiet, but I suppose the trade-off has been Ben Cunningham getting that bit more space, because Colin McCarthy is protecting the D a little bit, and that's freed it up a bit now, notwithstanding that Ben's shooting has been incredible. But I mean, Sars have got 2 goals, and they'll probably feel there's more goals in there. They probably will,
But apart from the heroics in goal from Dylan McSweeney, they were shooting for 2 more. In fairness to the young fella he made, especially the second one. What an instinctive save.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. Just want to mention as well too, just in terms of football, next week it's the Premier 1 minor semi-finals. Douglas and Inniscarra, Iban Gales are playing Glanmire, and the Premier 2 semi-finals are also on next weekend. The Bars are playing Castlehaven, Carbery Rangers playing Kanturk. The finals, I'm told, are scheduled for the following week, September 30th, 31st. The dates, times, etc. have to be finalised on that one. And just an interesting little aside on that Premier 2 minor semi-final, the Bars v Castlehaven. We mentioned him there in commentary. Jack Cahalan, of course, will be playing for
He won't have far to go anyway in
and
Togher.
I'm told as well that one of the subs, Cormac O'Neill,
Yes.
is also a Castlehaven footballer. So just in a curious little jink of clubs that they'll be playing their nominal teammates in the football. So just wanted to mention that, and want to mention as well, I have been asked to mention the Premier 2 minor hurling final. That's Coleman's and Kanturk. That's on here tomorrow night, Porcurin at 7 o'clock, and Rebel Oak themselves are streaming that game. So just to give you the heads up on that one. Hope you're enjoying our live stream coverage of the action here tonight. So in terms of the managements down there, what's Jimmy Barry Murphy and crew saying down there?
Well, it's we call him Breeny by Breen Hurley's probably doing an awful lot of the talking. I suppose, look, they'll be reasonably happy. I'd mentioned it myself a few times in the commentary that they're teak tough in the tackle. They are not letting Sars settle. Every score Sars are getting, they're working extremely hard for it, so they'll be fierce happy with that. Like a lot of their forwards have scored, I make it that 4 of their starting forwards have scored, and Fionn Crowley's working extremely hard, and so is Adam Buckley. Adam pulled on a great ball there into Jack earlier that led to a free. So they're doing well. Midfield is breaking even. In fairness, Colin McCarthy has come into it for Salisbury and Twomey's after getting a score, and I like Kieran Doolan. He's a very, very busy midfielder. So in general, they'll be happy. It'd be, I say a lot of it would be kind of continue as you are, business as usual, as they say, but maybe just be a little bit more clinical inside, try and give a bit more faster ball into Jack, and then Jack maybe it would be great for himself to get on the scoreboard. He's gotten a point, but they'll probably try and get a stronger return from this half, I would say.
Yeah, and I suppose it's funny because we have been eulogising Dan Hogan, but he's only got a point as well now. He's been fouled for a free, and obviously he was involved in one of the goals. 2 of his saves turned into 65s that he put over himself. But again, if you told the Bears beforehand, you go in at half time and Hogan would only have a point from play, we'd be happy enough. So, but I think it's just that maybe it's a little bit more depth in Sars' panel. Maybe it's what I was saying earlier about the fact they have more fellas on the age, like the majority of their team are, it's reflected by the fact Ben Nodwell, right, is under 17, but the core of the rest of the team are under 18. This is their last year minor. Does it give them that bit more physicality and graft? Maybe, I don't know, but
yeah. Yeah, and I'd say what the Bears need to do is not let Sars get into a routine, a rhythm. I mean, obviously they're favourites. It's important that the Bears, I suppose in some ways, for want of a better description, hang in there, go tit for tat, try and win the game with 10 minutes to go, and not let the Sars get the run at them. And not, I suppose, half-backs be stronger, and not let the, or half-forwards, on the Bears side, not maybe let the Sars half-back launch that ball into the full forward line, because without doubt when it goes in there, Flynn O'Brien is physical as well.
Yeah,
he's not an unbelievable hurler. His skills are decent, I would say, but it's probably more his physicality and his ability to throw his arse out there and put his full back off. But certainly if Daniel Rowe gets enough ball, he can do damage. So I'd say they'll be trying to curtail as much ball coming into that full forward line as possible.
And Jeremy Kingston, who hasn't scored out of the 6 Star starting forwards, he's the only guy who hasn't scored, but he's actually been really physical right in front of us here on the right wing. He just broke up loads of play. If he's not won it himself, it's been someone like Zach O'Sullivan or Colin McCarthy picking up the break. So he's been very effective too. They are a physical unit,
Yeah, and we have to mention the other wing forward, Ben Nodwell. What a goal, and the timing of it, just 30 seconds after the water break as well. But credit the Bears for kind of coming back after it.
Yeah, it was a classy score. Some fellas get a goal, it might be a break, it might pull, but it was just the way, without breaking stride. That's fierce ability, wristy, right into the corner, plenty of power into it, and he kept it at the right height as well. He didn't put a chest high or anything, put it low. It looks like he's plenty of ability, that young fella.
Okay, just to mention, coming up this weekend, we have a hectic Sunday of live streams here on the Irish Examiner. Bon Secours Football Championship. We have Nemo and Ballincollig, that's at 2 o'clock. Then we're switching out to Blarney Senior A action, and that's Mallow v Bandon. And then we're back here in Páirc Uí Rinn then later in the evening, 7 o'clock. It's the Premier Senior Football Championship clash, and it is the men of Duhallow, the Valley Rovers. So that's the plan of action for Sunday. To join, or you will be able to join us for that in the Bon Secours Cork Senior Football Championship. So 3 matches to look forward to on Sunday. Still to look forward to though, half an hour of top quality hurling in this Rebel Oak final. Hopefully you'll be able to stay with us for the remainder of this titanic struggle. Ben O'Connor is the centre back. He's been here, there and everywhere. He's been hoovering up all so much. Ethan Toomey is getting the shot on, dropping in on the edge of the square to Jack Callan. Jack Cahalan.
Could you have asked for a better start?
In the back of the net within 10 seconds.
That was super stuff, in fairness.
Great finish.
Yeah, great finish. The eye for goal is just incredible. And Ben O'Connor's dominance and ability to drive it and catch it first and then drive it.
Ben O'Connor, Ethan Toomey, Jack Cahalan, bang, into the back of the net. What a start to the second half. 30 years ago to the day, Jack Cahalan's father Niall was winning an All-Ireland Senior Football Championship medal in Croke Park. 30 years ago later, his son is after scoring a goal within seconds of the restart of this Cork Rebel Oak Premier Minor 1 Championship final. What excitement, what drama, what a finish. 1-12 to 2-9 the score here. All square. And it's a sideline here in front of us with SARS and with their danger man, Daniel Hogan. It's a free and in fact not a sideline.
We'll leave a second while we're waiting for Colin. I friends and James Stevens that are tuned in. They're very friendly with some of the SARS lads and a gang from Armagh. They go on holidays to Lanzarote every year. So hello to Dan. Hope you're enjoying it.
I'm sure Dan is enjoying it. I don't think though that the Dan that struck that one was enjoying it too much. The radar being off there by Daniel Hogan as it drifted wide. But what? I think that was the team speech. Led it into Jack.
Absolutely. And start fast. You know, throw the game back at them and don't let them settle. So brilliant start for the Bears.
Ben Cunningham is taking a bit of a knock there. He's down on the ground in front of us. We'll keep an update on him. It's Daniel Hogan from about 40 yards, and Hogan tracking it all the way, and it's gone wide. So that's 2 back-to-back there from Hogan. Referee calling a little halt to play there, but to his credit, Ben Cunningham is back on his feet. He's A-OK, which will be crucial to their hopes. Looks like the midfielder Ethan Toomey has kind of gone into a centre forward role there. That was him going up for it there, missing it. But it's on to Fionn Crowley. Runner inside him there is Kieran Doolan, and Doolan is unceremoniously brought to ground by Cathal McCarthy. That's a free there on the edge of the exclusion zone.
And well played to Fionn Crowley, in fairness. He hasn't scored yet, but he's busy, and that's what you want from every player on the field, particularly your half forward line. Get on the breaks, take him on, and to see credit that scored it led to the free for a foul on Kieran Doolan.
And there's a little bit more space in the Bears attack now. Whatever they've rejigged it there, they've just created a little bit more space for now anyway, for the first few minutes, and they've exposed it there twice.
Yeah.
So Ben Cunningham doing what it must be a great luxury to have the likes of Ben and Jack as your free takers if you needed them. You know, it's no need to be calling on Jack on that occasion when Ben was on top of it. It was Zach O'Sullivan, the lads were singing his praise. Oh, lovely bit of skill there by Hogan to keep the ball in through his legs, but Ben O'Connor aware of it. He can only find though William Buckley, and Buckley on his bike yet again. This lad is just a joy to watch. He's going to try his own on this occasion, and William Buckley from 50 yards. What a joy, what a strike, what a piece of skill by Hogan down there. But again, Hogan, Ben O'Connor should I say, was alert to the danger. What a ball to pick out William Buckley, and what a finish by the corner forward.
Third from play, that's great shooting, Colin.
He's Chris, of course, former goalkeeper with the club. Proud tradition of goalkeepers and their sons here this evening. Ethan Toomey on the ball, and Ethan Toomey from about 50 yards has gotten right under that but has driven it wide. And it's 114 to 2-9. Want to mention as well too on the SARS team that there's 8 starters on the SARS team and 5 more on the bench from Kalash and Fiersig. Some achievement by the school there. So well done to all involved in the teaching staff and the hurling staff there. Getting a bit messy down there in the corner. Yet again, it's that man, Ben O'Connor. He's like here, there and everywhere. He's like Dyson, hoovering up ball. Great ball by him. Oh, he was aiming for the midfielder, but it was cut out there. And Cathal McCarthy is the man who is making inroads. Oh, wonderful little interception though. And here come the Bars yet again with that ever-ready bunny that is William Buckley. Off he goes again. Look at the pace of this. Shawnee McGrath sitting up to have a look at this lad again. Great little hand pass in as far as he's centre forward to Ben Cunningham, and Ben Cunningham off the left has driven that one wide. But William Buckley, the buzz of anticipation in and around the ground every time he gets the ball.
Doesn't he? But definitely aiming is right. They've done something. I think they've retreated a bit and created space.
4 up front, effectively.
4 up front, they're going out around midfield
and even though they missed that chance, Ben would have put it over if he probably took it 9 more times. They're just creating an awful lot of space now. SARS are going to have to adjust a small bit. They probably don't want to have an out sweeper.
Yeah.
Previously, they had the centre back McCarthy dropping back and covering. They're going to have to make an adjustment because there's an awful lot of space there, and Bears was just scoring 1-2 and level 3 now. They might score as well.
And just that goal just after half time, then those 2 uncharacteristic misses by Daniel Hogan as well kind of sucked a small bit of life out of SARS.
Absolutely.
And it just seems everything that the Bars are touching is turning to gold. Let's see what Ben Cunningham can do. This is going to be a test of his range. 67, 68 yards out. Here he comes. The crowd like it, Ben likes it, the umpire likes it. He's put it over the bar. I'm sure his dad Ger would be keen on that kind of a range. 1 goal and 15 points to 2 goals and 9. This is epic stuff here this afternoon, and yet again it's possession to the Bars and possession to Ben Cunningham. He's going to go right across the field to his midfielder from distance. Kieran Doolan was the man, and that was mined out by Ben Cunningham. Had the awareness to look cross field. Doolan had slipped into the centre, and a perfect pass and a perfect finish.
Yeah, he's busy, isn't he? And he's a good player, but it was a great score. And they seem to be, when they're retreating, then when someone breaks, they all seem to break at the same time and coming off the shoulder.
That tactic is working extremely well at the moment.
Yet again, it's Ben O'Connor on the ball. Jinking one way, jinking that way. The pass though on that occasion. The clearance, not the greatest. And it's going to be a sideline over there. Looks to be the centre back, Cathal McCarthy, that's going to come over and take that one.
And even in the last passage of play, Ethan Toomey was actually free if Doolan didn't shoot himself. So, again, if you're the SARS management for the lads on the sideline, they'd be very worried by that.
Yeah, and I make it 1-4-0, is it? Am I right? After 7 minutes, SARS haven't scored yet.
So it's a blitzkrieg start.
Great start for the Bears.
Good strike there, but well taken, I think, in the end by the midfielder, Doolan. Breaks down though, and it's Oran Shepherd that managed to get on it. Eventually it's David Lynch. Nice chink by Lynch onto his left from distance. Going to drop short though. Hogan is following back over, trying to keep it in play. Great skill by Hogan, but unfortunately the ball had crossed the line. He's shown a couple of wonderful little pieces of skill even since half time.
Yeah, Stars just need to get a little bit more pattern in their play, even though Daniel was a bit unlucky there. I think Zach was actually David himself was going for a score. He wasn't necessarily throwing it across the square, so they just need to get into the game and get a bit more pattern to their play.
Oh, that's William Buckley after taking the pass and after finding Ben Cunningham and after looked to be a free the other way. No, it had stepped out over the sideline. I think Cunningham had gone out. But great play by the corner forward to offer himself to his goalkeeper Dylan McSweeney.
I suppose the next score will be huge if SARS get it. They just need to score so badly now. We're nearly 10 minutes into the second half and they've had a couple of half chances. That's been about it.
Yeah.
On this occasion, the centre back is forced to go back to his corner and drop down, and yet again. that man that's there, Ben O'Connor, but the referee deemed that he was, I think, was he charging out? Was that the call, I wonder?
Yeah, I think it was a bit of rush of blood to the head. Maybe it was a fabulous catch, and Ben has been absolutely terrific in the last 10 minutes. So I think, you know, it happens, especially young fellas. They're thundering out. They want the big hit. You know, the Diarmuid O'Sullivan style kind of booming hit. So I think he just got tempted into that there, and Zach O'Sullivan was fouled. So again,
and to be fair, Colin McAllister is really central to such a wonderful game that we've had tonight.
Excellent. So he's let everything go. I don't think he'd a choice there. Really, he was right next to it. You know.
End result anyway is a free, and it's Daniel Hogan who's going to stand over it and, as the lad said, hopefully break that SARS scoring drought. Daniel Hogan, clear and crisp connection with him. Of course, no stranger to big days, featured for the side in the senior championship against Erin's Own as well. And hit an incredible 1 goal and 13 against Ballincollig in their semi-final. Will he be on a winning team though tonight? Back here with the action, they're all in under it. Trying to get in it is Kieran Doolan, scored that point a few moments ago. But SARS back in numbers, trying to get something, goes through the legs of Jeffrey Gowan. Did very well though, Gowan, to recycle it, puts his wing back. Daniel Kennedy under pressure. Somehow the ball is managing to stay in play. And the steadying influence of Ben O'Connor. Who else at the end of it? Massive puck down there towards Jack Cahalan. On this occasion, though, it's the full-back Luke Elliott who gets out, but he can only find Ethan Toomey. Toomey has all the time in the world. He's going to go short in towards his corner forward, but the defender doing ever so well there. And here comes SARS with their centre back there. That's Colin McCarthy. Hand pass in there to Owen Shepherd, and Shepherd from distance has driven that one wide.
Yeah, they'd be disappointed with that. They did well.
They had a runner on the right hand side as well. You know, they again it would have been 2 points in a row, and SARS look like they've a fleet of subs lined up now to come in.
Exactly, a fleet of them. It's Louis Case, the midfielder, who's making way.
I think tactically,
is there 2 coming on?
I think there's definitely one in there. I think they've been listening to him in there because they've retreated a bit more, haven't they?
They've more bodies back now, just behind the 65.
And Zach O'Sullivan actually is also somewhat surprisingly making way as well.
I suppose he's so much done and he's on a yellow card, you know, as he gets tired it'll be very easy for him to flick out or something.
Ollie Compton is one of the men that's on, and looks to be Killian McCarthy as well too, so we'll just keep track on those. This is absolutely end-to-end stuff in this Rebel Oak final here, and the man that's on the ball being brought to ground is Ethan Toomey, getting it in as far as Cunningham. That's Ben Cunningham being held up by 2 players, but still Cunningham eventually winning the free despite the intentions of 2 SARS players hanging off him. And of concern is the fact that one of the Bars midfielders is down on the ground after picking up a knock just before that passage of play developed.
Yeah, great interchange play. Started with Jeffrey Gowan. Great offload to Eaton, and Eaton on the ground gave a good pass to Ben, and Ben showed great physical strength to take possession.
He ticks so many boxes, you know, to be fair. I mean, he's a terrific free taker, he's a terrific striker, but he's also, as you said, he's a supreme athlete. He's tall, he's lean, you know, he really does tick a prototype modern hurler, everything. He has everything going for him.
So here comes Ben, and what a strike by him to push it out to 1 goal and 17 to 2 goals and 10. 17 to 2 goals and 10. Yet another substitute coming on from SARS. They're throwing out everything that they can now in the final 20 minutes. It's Oren Shepherd is the man making way. I think they actually have a second substitute coming on.
You'd assume if Rory O'Brien is fit to come in, he'll come in now anyway because they need him.
Dara Long is coming on as well.
Yeah, Rory O'Brien is coming in right at the edge of the square, so we'll see if he can add a bit of energy to them.
It's been talked up before the game there. It's Killian McCarthy, one of the substitutes just on a few moments ago. Swallowed up though by, of all the people back there, your full forward, Jack Cahalan. We talked about his ability, but we also, as you said, Johnny, talked about his mentality, and just to have him back there can see maybe small bit of a slippage in terms of the scoring sequence, and said, I'm going to come back here and just break
my
things up.
team out. And they've retreated very much so way down the field. But when you retreat like that, it's a great advantage in trump card to have pace, so they can attack in mass as well and attack in huge numbers, and they can go off the shoulder. But that was a great play way back in his half back line, helping, and looking at him now, he's back in the full forward line again. Great energy levels.
And given that this is probably outside Ben's range, I'd say I wouldn't be surprised if we could see Jack Cahalane under this ball in a few seconds' time. Goalkeeper coming out, Nisha Marin, to get a clearance away. Can only come to a Bars man. And great play there. It was on the way towards Cahalane, but Hurley got in there. And there's been a strike there by the full-back, and that's going to be a free in. Luke Elliott, I think, was actually justifiably going for the ball, but made a connection there. And it's going to be a free in. Cathal McAllister having no doubt. And Ben Cunningham is going to take his time coming up to this.
It's all the Bars now really since half time, isn't it? They just and you can see. I mean, you mentioned Jack Cahalane going back out to midfield there a while ago, but I think it's because they can kind of smell blood, can't they? You know, like
Looking for the juggler
Stars
now.
are really struggling to get scores. I mean, they're happy to let it be a dogfight here now. Pick off a few frees, pick off a few points. I mean, and the fact if this goes over, they'll have outscored them 19 scores to 12 as well so far. It probably shows the difference here.
Absolutely.
1 goal and 17, 2 goals and 10. I'd say we'll have our water break when this ball goes dead. And let's see, will Ben Cunningham add to his tally this evening? Probably got a bit too much purchase on that one, and is
it was a difficult angle.
angle. And yes, indeed, referee Cathal McAllister calling for the water break. We promised you an exciting night of championship hurling. I think we're promise here tonight. You're watching the Cork Rebel Oak Premier Minor 1 Hurling Championship final between Sars and the Bars here in Páirc Uí Rinn. The floodlights are blazing here, but it feels like a sunny summer's evening with the atmosphere here. Great to have 200 fans here present, and what a spectacle we're being treated to. We'll have to go back to the man we were talking about at half-time. That was Jack Cahalane. What a way to start the second half, and really has been the platform for the Bars.
Yeah, in that for 15-minute period, I think is it 1-5 to a point. So what we were saying at half-time has exactly developed, I suppose, really. Attack him, go for the juggler. I don't think Ben O'Connell was necessarily pumping the ball in to find Jack and get a goal, but Jack showed great awareness. He actually just got a yard on his man. The full-back, Luke Elliott, seemed to go backwards or something, and Jack came from behind front, and the minute he caught it, there was only going to be one result. But they're suffocating them. They're going for the juggler, and at 1-5 to a point in this period, that puts them 4 points ahead. At the moment, it looks like there's only going to be one winner.
Absolutely, yeah. And I suppose Stars have brought 4 subs on, so I mean that can go either way. I mean, it could go well for them. One of the lads could stick a goal they badly need, but also it could destabilise them a bit. 4 subs, there's a lot of subs in the final, especially with young fellas.
Yeah.
Right, we've 15 minutes remaining in this Rebel Oak final, and our thanks to Rebel Oak and Nick O'Mahony and the team for helping facilitate tonight's broadcast. Shot coming across there from the midfielder for Sars, and that's was being applauded there, but the referee coming in to wave Colin McCarthy's effort wide. And really, Sars did need that to go over, didn't they?
They need every score now, yeah.
It's the cliche, every score is vital now, especially after the water breaks and trying to build momentum and everything like that. Free though on this occasion, has been an extremely clean game, it must be said, but a bit of a stroke there, and Cathal McCarthy being fouled, and it's Daniel Hogan is going to come out and take this one, being directed back there by the linesman, just about half a yard inside his own half. And if he puts this one over, it's down to a 3-point game. Not over by any means. So if you are at home, don't be going out making the cup of tea. I'd say hold off for about 15 minutes, because you don't want to miss any of this epic here tonight in Páirc Uí Rinn. Hogan though,
and it sums up the second half for Sars, really,
hasn't it?
Yeah, and Daniel's a super player, but from a free taking perspective, I suppose there's, Ben Cunningham is giving the masterclass, and you just want everything going right for your key players, your free takers, all that going to plan, and Daniel will be disappointed himself for that.
And Daniel's out centre forward now for the rest of the game on Ben O'Connor, so I suppose that's going to make or break for Sars now. If they can quieten Ben down, he has hurled so much ball, and he's on the ball here now again.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely incredible performance by him. What a delivery in towards the aforementioned Ben Cunningham. And Ben Cunningham, I don't think there's a man of the match award per se tonight, but I'm pretty sure
it would be going one way at the moment anyway.
He'd be making space on the Cunningham mantelpiece this evening for that. What are you tallying at?
I'm saying six from play, I think, and 4 or 5 frees.
6 from play and 5 frees. You know?
Some shit.
And he's been fouled for 2 of those frees. So that's just terrific stuff.
Yeah, some great surnames here tonight. Legends from Cork and from their clubs as well too. Being pulled down there, surely a free. Yeah, surprisingly, no free being awarded there. Referee awarding a play on, but the Bars back in numbers to counter the danger. Ben O'Connor yet again. For me, if there was a joint man of the match, it would be going to 2 Bens tonight. He's incredible tonight. Oh, lovely piece of skill by Jack Callan. Callan on the 21 still. Callan taps it into the net. What a piece of skill by Jack Callan. The ball broke over the defender. Somehow Callan managed to get it up. Goalkeeper advancing, and he tennis styled it. It was like the US Open. Roger Federer banged into the net. Is that game, set and match?
I think there's your third man of the match now, Colin. Yeah, great awareness again. Like just the first touch. It's all about first touch.
Yeah,
his first touch was brilliant, and he was away, and Timmy Mac batted style goal then.
Yeah, and he's batted. I'm sure the Bars will tell you he's batted so many goals over the years. You know, it's a sign of a good forward. You get that break. You come in so close to the keeper. Once you bat it with any bit of a connection, it's a goal. You know.
Nice connection by Ben Nodwell inside there. Eventually being fouled up by Dara Long. Great defending though. Sees the Bars back in numbers. What I love about the Bars as well too is even after scoring that goal, you could see the shouts for increase the work rate down here in front of us from their bench. Nice piece of skill. Eventually finds its way back towards Ben Cunningham. Has a runner inside him if he wants, but Ben's going to go all his own, full of enthusiasm, full of confidence, but that occasion it's gone wide. Had plenty of time to settle. 2 goals and 18 points to 2 goals and 10. 8 points between the sides. 10 minutes remaining in this Premier 1 Rebel Oak final here this evening in Páirc Uí Rinn. What an epic battle we're watching, and privileged to be broadcasting right here around Cork, around Ireland, around the world on the Irish Examiner live stream service. Great play though, as Daniel Hogan is chasing in on the goalkeeper who loses possession. Hogan gets a touch on it and drives it out wide. Goalkeeper McSweeney, quick off his line, did enough though to I suppose displace Hogan, who got the touch but drove it wide. Goalkeeper taking a little knock there to the ankle, bit of treatment coming on I think. No, referee is telling him get on with the play there.
And they don't need to slow the game now, you know, they've the 8-point lead, but once they keep their work rate up and don't do anything silly, like you know, there's no way Stars are getting back into this really.
And actually Dylan, who has played so well tonight, wasn't the first choice goalkeeper earlier in the year. Jack McCarthy was. He's out for the season with a cruciate knee injury, and we wish him the very best if he's watching us tonight. And I'm sure he must be impressed with these deputies' performance here tonight.
And the Bars defence has been just incredible in the second half. I mean, they've held them to 1 free, and that was a free out on you know, after Ben O'Connor had 1 possession, kind of, you know, went for the big hit, so it wasn't even kind of a foul per se. And Shane Kennedy probably deserves a mention. I mean, he was marking Dan Hogan, and obviously he had his hands full at the start, but I mean, Hogan has now been moved out away from him, so that's the ultimate compliment to cornerback to be paid, really.
He settled down great, didn't he? Yeah.
Mention Shane Kennedy, his dad Joe, again just her fathers and son, was the cornerback on the 1993 senior championship team with Ger Cunningham in goals and Kieran Doolan, who was at midfield. His dad Tony was the other cornerback on that team.
Names. So breeding beats feeding, they say at times, isn't it?
Well said. Now there's a shot from Eaton Toomey from the side of him. He's a man that has had plenty of feeding as well. He's a massive unit of a lad. He's an incredible young footballer as well too. Cork minor, has played of course senior, is 18 on Monday.
Yeah,
and what a perfect birthday for him. Back here though with Ben Nodwell, scored the goal in the first half, first time ball in towards Hogan, but coming back there, great play by Daniel Kennedy, first cousin with
Stars are chasing goals there now, so you know it's so difficult to play that way.
A little jink there by William Buckley to avoid the tackle of the in-rushing Killian McCarthy. Clearance though by him wasn't great, as he only picked out Cathal McCarthy, who's zooming it in. First time, no chance here with Hogan. Hogan holding off. Oh, great play by the fullback JJ O'Connor. Got his body in the way there. He'll feel that tomorrow morning. And it's still JJ getting the shot away. There was a block coming in there from Jeremy Kingston, knocking it out over the sideline. But you can see there's only one thing on the Sars' mind when they get the ball. And no wonder with about 6 minutes and you're down by 9 points, they have to go for goals.
They have to get a goal. The ferocious work rate again, brilliant defending from JJ, kind of brave block, and then who was the man back to try and pick up the pieces was number 10 Jeffrey Gowan, who's a half forward. So no problem on the Bears side when it comes to work rate or putting a bit of a shift in. The effort has been phenomenal.
Cormac O'Neill coming on there. Sorry, Eamon.
And you have to say for the Bears management, like the way they rejigged it at half time, just a few subtle switches. I mean, they moved Eaton to me, one of their star men, into the half forward line where he hasn't really played all year at all. Yeah. He went back to centre back and won the group games, all right. But and it's worked a treat, just worked increased attitude. And I suppose if you do like JVM, Pat Keane, Brian Hurley there talking to half time, sure, that wouldn't get you going. Absolutely, nobody would.
Yeah, Sean Crowley, the man that's making way down there. A second bite of the cherry there from the sideline over on the far side. And as I said, it's Cormac O'Neill plays his football with Castlehaven, and he'll be in action against the Bars next week, as will Jack Cahalan. William Buckley, don't know what he's like as a footballer, but he's some hurling talent. Goalkeeper though, alert to that one. Well played by Nisha Maron. And opting to go short, eventually going as far as Colin McCarthy to launch the big bomb down. They're under it, trying to get there is Hogan, but it's Ben O'Connor yet again, here, there and everywhere. Nice little pass out towards his cornerback Shane Kennedy. Strike there from Jack Cahalan from right on halfway. Cahalan is after hitting a monster score. Should we be surprised? 220 to 210.
And 2-2 from Jack Cahalan.
Who's had a quiet game?
The first half we were saying he was quiet. It's incredible scoring.
Sars continuing with the high ball in, and I'm sure that Ben O'Connor is happy to stand under each and every one of those. He's lapping them up down there. One of the Sars players down on the ground, it looks to be Colin McCarthy. Again, big hand going up there, up to be Ethan Toomey with his wing back Daniel Kennedy, and it's gone down route one. Hardly any player down there from a Bars persuasion. They're pulling as many bodies back as possible as they're preparing for that onslaught. Colin McCarthy still down on the ground. Looks to be Tom Fitzgerald, I think, down there, is it? And breaking back there, it's really anyone's ball there, and the referee eventually awarding a free in. Question is, will Daniel go for goal here?
There's no choice there, really. I don't think, but we're at 2.5 minutes of normal time remaining, and it was a water break. It's a 10-point gap. It's it just hasn't gone Sars' way. I mean, they've 1 point in the second half. It's astonishing, really.
It's incredible. 2-8 to a point, I make it.
Yeah, it's remarkable. And any thought of any extra physicality, which is what I was kind of going with Sars being, a bit more on the edge, a bit more physical, playing more football in the P1 grade, but it hasn't transferred because the Bars' attitude have completely cancelled that out.
6 Bars players in the line, the goalkeeper standing in front of them. That's what's facing Daniel Hogan here. We're still watching a bit of treatment there. I think it is Colin McCarthy who's down there. It looks to be a knee injury, so that's why we're holding up. Good to see that he's back up on his feet anyway, so obviously not that serious. And he's returned to play. You're watching the Cork Premier 1 Minor Hurling Championship final between Sars and the Bars here in Páirc Uí Rinn on the Irish Examiner live stream service. Our pleasure to be bringing this game in conjunction with the Rebel Oak board, and our thanks to Mick O'Mahony and the team. Of course, the football final here in 2 weeks' time. Who will be in that? Well, the answers will be coming next Wednesday night as the semi-finals have yet to be played. And a hectic weekend on our live stream service as well. Here comes the shot. Oh, what a goal. What a goal by Hogan, to his credit. He had about 7 on the line facing him. Drilled it low and hard. That was a real daisy cutter. Eventually got it in there, and it's made it 220 to 3 goals and 10. But has it all come a little too late for Sars? Free being awarded against them there. It's been Cunningham judged to have fouled the ball. They'll be keen to get this one down as quickly as possible. Luke Elliott is the full back who's going to take the free on this occasion, as they're pushing up as many players as possible, dropping it in around the 21-yard line. Up they go for it, and you don't need me to tell you that it's Ben O'Connor that's after coming out with that one yet again. Gets half a hook on it, and it's going to be a sideline to the Bars, and that's nearly as good as a score to them, really, because it's going to eat up another few seconds on the clock.
Yeah, and Eamon mentioned it a while ago, the Bears' attitude in particular, they didn't panic. The goal that Ben Nodwell got, which was a brilliant score, might have knocked the stuffing out of a lot of teams. It came at a great time for Sars coming up to half time, but the attitude from the get-go there, especially the start of the second half, has been just incredible from the Bears. Real old-style stuff, a mix of a bit of tactical stuff, pace, speed, aggression, the whole lot you want, and then some fantastic scoring and key goals scored at the right time.
Clearance doesn't come, and it's returned with favour. Up they go for it, and who's going to come out with it? It's bobbling around there. Eventually the Bars have it, and it's worked out here in front of us with the midfielder over. He's blocked there at the wing back, should I say, hops off his leg. That's Matthew Nason. Goes back for a bit of assistance, and eventually it's cleared at about the third time of asking, dropping around the 21-yard line, but there's no one there really for it, as the Bars only have one player inside the 35-yard line and out for a sideline. I think it was the substitute there, Cian Buckley, I think. It, got a leg on that. It's also the sub-goalkeeper. Been taken there by Jake Bowen, but Bowen's connection just sees it right out over the sideline in front of us here, and that's a sideline that the Bars are occupying with Brian Hurley, Pa Keane, Jimmy Barry Murphy, Diarmuid Hurley, and Dara Edwards. What a backroom team that they have. Of course, the Sars backroom of Paddy Gahan, Daniel Rowe, Challen McNamara, Anthony Ellis, Ger O'Brien, Conor Desmond, Pat Ryan, Sean McCarthy, and Brian McCarthy. Big operation. Ball being played in there by Cunningham. In there on the ground, trying to squirrel something out is Cian Buckley. Eventually, Buckley manages to get a shot off, and off.
That would have been a beautiful point.
Would have been some score by Buckley. Came on last week for his brother Adam. Their dad, of course, Finbarr. Right, it's Sars down there with Ark Marin,
and it's amazing how the Bars have had a difficult run underage. They've probably played P2 with a lot of grades over the last decade on and off. I mean, they've been very successful in minor football. They've won a number of counties and 21 football county, and obviously the senior football county. But I mean, they won the 16 county last year when they were underdogs coming into it,
Yeah.
And again, with a lot of attitude, work rate, bit of class, bit of that cockiness.
Yeah.
And it's the same tonight.
Yeah. Oh, lovely pass from William Buckley to pick out Jack Cahalane.
And not afraid to mix it up, as you said earlier.
No, they just tick all the boxes.
Cahalane backing himself yet again. Jack Cahalane with the shot has driven that one wide. We're at 62 and a half minutes. We will have, as I said, a few bits of stoppage time given all the subs that came on, and that injury as well too there to Colin McCarthy, slowing things up. Ben Cunningham being pulled back, referee advising that advantage is being played. Cunningham getting the shot away. He didn't need play to be brought back. Cunningham, what a performance by him, what a score there. And it's pushing it out to 2 goals and 21 points to 3 goals and 10, with just coming up on 63 minutes elapsed in this Premier 1 minor final. Big huge ball there from Jake Bowen, dropping it in around the 14-yard line. Up they go again with it. It's the cornerback down there, one of the smallest players, Rian Doyle, that's getting on it. He's being tackled by another cornerback, Dara Murray, but getting it away. Still Sars trying to find a late goal. Shot coming across there, and that one has gone. Has it gone over the bar? Yes, it has. And in there from one of the substitutes.
And I suppose, look, 221 would nearly win you an inter-county game, so it shows that the firepower that the Bears have.
William Buckley has caught the eye so much tonight. Lovely delivery by him, looking out for the man wearing 25 down there. That's Cian Buckley, hit the post a few moments ago. He's tucked down there in the corner. Great little skill by him. He actually has 2 jerseys, or 2 listings on the programme, 16 and 25, because he's also the nominal sub-goalkeeper. Well, there you have it. The final whistle, the joy, the celebration, the sensation of victory for St. Finbarr's, the 2020 Cork Premier 1 minor hurling champions, ending a wait stretching back, would you believe, all the way to 1997. Well, lads, try and sum that one up.
Well, I suppose its second half performance from the Bears was just absolutely incredible. They outscored them 2-9, outscored Sars 2-9 to 1-2, with the Sars score coming from the last puck of the game, really. So really you could say 1-1 with a score at the last minute. So an incredible second half performance, full of great determination, a little bit of tactical news from the line, in fairness, what the master stroke they made in the second half, as Eamon said, putting Eden Toomey up the field and leaving Willie Buckley for a long period in that second half, where he was an absolute revelation, either scoring or creating scores. Ben Cunningham's point taking, and of course the opportunism then of Jack Callahan was just incredible. He's been doing it for the last couple of years. We've all seen him as F&M, I've seen him from under 14 up. That's what he does best. He's always waiting on the edge, and he's brilliant eye for goal.
Yeah, we talked about Jack Callahan in the half time, but and as Shawnee said, Eamon, the back of a great player mightn't be going your way for half an hour, but then bang, turn it on.
And I suppose it was the same in the semi-final, you know, as Shawnee mentioned earlier, like his 2 goals came in the second half, you know, and again the Glen were leading, you know, narrowly at half time. I think they were 4 points up at one stage, and you know, they just, I suppose there's just the belief there in the Bar setup. But look, they put that management team in place there, and I know JBM is the box office name and all that, but like Brian Hurley is a serious operator, you know. He's played underage for Cork, he probably played maybe league matches for the Cork seniors, he certainly played minor 21. He's very experienced in coaching, and they just put a top team around him because they knew they had good talent. And more clubs should do that, you know what I mean. 16 and minor appointments are as important as anything else, and they don't look ready over their 16s this year. Probably a bit disappointed they didn't win that. Middleton won it afterwards. Bright Rovers beat the Bars in the semi, and Middleton then subsequently beat Bright Rovers. But that Bars team had won the Fela 2 years ago, you know. So like there's just savage talent there, and look, it's good for Cork hurling. It's good for hurling, you know, club hurling, to have the Bars back. You know, hopefully this will translate over the next few years into senior. You know, you love seeing the Glen, Pearshig, the Rockies are thereabouts now in a senior semi-final. I mean, they won 4 minor counties between 2009 and 2013, so like, you know, it's been slow to get that to pay off. So there's no one saying this will instantly translate into, you know, senior achievement for the Bars next year, but it gives them a bit of, they rely on their swagger, and they'll have a bit of swagger back off this, you know.
But after everything that happened at senior level this year,
it's a huge fill-up.
This was a huge shot in the arm, isn't it?
Yeah, and for Sars, conversely, it's a massive blow. You know what I mean? Like, look, they were beaten by a very good Bars team, you know, so that's fine. But I mean, it is a blow for them. You know, they were obviously raging favourites against their zone. This was a 50-50 game. They had a great 14 county final win, all right, on the weekend, but you know, as Shawnee knows from being involved with 14s, there's a long way from 14 to minor, let alone senior. So, you know, that's nice to win, but it doesn't really make that much difference. So it's a tough one for Sars, you know.
We talk of a man, Jack Callahan, famous father, famous surname. Let's talk about another son of a famous man. Has to be in all our notes here, man of the match territory, Ben Cunningham.
Yeah, you nearly run out of paper just trying to keep all his scores logged. I think he got 7 from play, like, so over 60 minutes hurling, that's phenomenal. And his frees were just absolutely brilliant. And at any grade, whether it is minor or adult grade, you see it with Cork at the senior level with Patrick Cork, and having a good solid free taker that'll get you 9 out of 10, maybe, you know, like nearly get all his frees really, is huge. And some of the scores he got, I mean, even the last one, I think he was fouled twice before he actually scored. He keeps going. He doesn't look up.
He kind of has a long, lanky build, but he's deceivingly strong.
Very, very, very strong, and he's got kind of that gazelle sort of getting away from you type of frustrating if you're half-back trying to stay with him, I'd say, because he just gathers yards. But what I like about him is he's gutsy, just going back again. In his last score, he doesn't turn to the ref. You see some players going on a dive or looking for a free. Ben is courageous, he's strong, he's pacey, but his accuracy, I mean, to get whatever he got, 7 from play, 6 or 7 frees, 13 or 14. But again, against Eamon was at the Ballincollig game, I think he got something like 19 points or something, that night.
15, yeah. But again, it was the scores from play when they were under pressure. So like tonight, you know, we're mentioning 7 points of play, but like in the first half, the majority of the play was probably in the, you know, the Sars offensive kind of half, you know, and Ben had 5 points.
Correct.
So the counter-attacks they had, he was picking off the scores from when Jack was held to 1 point. Obviously then Jack stepped up in the second half, and it was likewise against Ballincollig. He stepped up with massive scores from play when he was actually being well marked by James Dwyer, who was a good player, you know, very tight marker and a tough, big, strong, physical guy. And he's, you know, that's the mark. He really does tick a lot of boxes. But look, we don't overhype him, you know what I mean? He's still only 17 years of age. He hasn't played Cork minor yet. So
we're talking a lot about the Bars attack, but like we have to give credit as well to their defence, especially that, as you pointed out, that 15-minute spell after half time was it
just dogged them for 15 minutes.
Exactly.
Every one of them,
and Ben O'Connor, you know, led the way throughout.
his distribution, I think, was the standout there. I mean, I mentioned Shane Kennedy obviously did a great job, and Dan Hogan. And you look at, Ben Nodwell got 1-1 in the first half, fabulous scores. We didn't see him in the second half. And I think that was a collective effort from all the bodies. I mean, Ben stands out because his striking is so good and he's so stylish, and he's the white socks all the time. You know what I mean? He's one of those type guys. I saw him walking in earlier. I think he'd green Converse or something on. But like the bit of swagger again, associated with a city hurler. Nothing wrong with that. If you can back it up on the pitch, of course.
He's
like,
16
again.
Yeah, he has it all. But Eamon, the other two, I suppose,
guy.
you mentioned Shane Kennedy as well earlier, and Matthew Nace, and again, look, they're not household names across the country, but within underage hurling, they'd be well known, like Ben O'Connor and Ben Cunningham. But Shane Kennedy and Matthew Nason mightn't be as well known, but I thought they were brilliant tonight. Nice and compact, capable, getting ball out, throwing it down the line. Just did an absolute brilliant job for the team.
Ethan Toomey just collecting the trophy there from since the chairman of Rebel Oak,
Michael O'Mahony,
and he's making a little speech. Strange times indeed for these lads. Usually Páirc Uí Rinn would have a massive crowd here this evening, so credit to all for making sure that we had this game here tonight. What we have to mention as well too, the goalkeeper Dylan McSweeney, like, to be fair, this could have been a completely different game had it not been for his interventions in the first half.
Yeah, I suppose Zars could have had 4 goals at half time. Certainly 3, because one of them was a blinding save. It was terrific altogether, and that would have put doubts in the Bears' mind. I'd imagine at half time, Brian Hurley said to the lads, "Look, we've copped up 2 goals. One of them just coming up to the run up to half time. We haven't played our best hurling yet, and we're still only a puck of a ball behind. It's a great way to be, like."
Yeah, and you get this the thinking behind. Let's go for the juggernaut early. Let's take them on. But I always think early doors, get a few scores on the board. Sometimes goals, a lot of the goals that are scored will come from just breaks or flashing around the square. It's very hard to create a goal. So I always think, get a few scores, go 3, 4, 5 points, then the goal might happen. But they seem to go for goals very, very early. And I was going to comment at the time, I hope they don't rue those misses. Not that it had a huge bearing on the game, but definitely was a huge bonus for the Bears, when, especially Daniel Hogan's second one, when Dylan McSweeney made that save. It felt like you could feel the Bears guys' chest coming out and head up, and these fellas will not pass us.
Okay, but to be fair, I know that the Sars defeated here tonight, but like, they played some part in an epic.
Column 3-11 would win you most championship games,
especially
underage. 3 at 11, that's 20 points. Especially underage, that would win you most games. It's just that the forward line, like when you go through it, William Buckley 3 from play, Ben Cunningham 7 from play, Jack Callan 2-2, Jeffrey Gunn got his point. Adam Buckley worked hard in the first half, and Fionn Crowley was working like a beaver. Cian Buckley, I think, came on and got a score. It's just that the Bears' attack was just absolutely electric. But it could have been an off day. Ben's freeze mightn't have been going well, and in that instance, 3-11 would win you most championship games. So Sars have contributed massively to this minor championship, and that particular team have contributed brilliantly to underage hurling in Cork way back to kind of 2016 when they were Féile. All those young fellas can keep their heads up, and they've been fantastic over the last
and
years.
I suppose for a club like Sars, who have won senior counties in the last few years, they've won 3 minors in the last 15 years. They had the 07-08 kind of crop with Daniel Carney, and won it again in 2014, and we're in a final against Douglas the following year. They're regularly in finals, so they're 3, 4, 5 players that they'll get off any panel are just getting that experience of being in semi-finals, being in finals. They won the 21 county last year. It's like Sars are going to be thereabouts for the next decade again. They've massive talent under 13-14. I've seen it myself firsthand. Terrific players, so the Bears probably needed to win this more. I know Sars are hurting big time now. It's an awful week for them, but the Bears really need to start winning a few trophies, balancing the books. I mean, they won a senior football county there 2 years ago on the back of having so much success at minor and 21. I've no doubt at all whatsoever about that. So they need to do this, and they probably, like, a lot of these lads are underage again next year. Cunningham, like as I said earlier, like Willie Buckley is 2 years underage. Ben O'Connor the same. So like they'll be thereabouts for the next couple of years now at minor, and they just want to regularly get to semi-finals, even if they don't win another one, and then push on and be regularly there at 21. Yeah.
And of course now it funnels into the inter-county, touch wood, the inter-county season, so I'm sure we'll be seeing a few more of these lads hopefully in the time ahead.
Yeah, let's see how things unfold, and please God there isn't nothing coming down the tracks. But look, for now it's just about Cork hurling and Cork club hurling, and it's been a marvellous night down the line. I'd imagine that there's 7 or 8 players on show there that definitely will be knocking on the door. Some of them are already probably in the panel, and others might have put themselves in the spotlight after tonight. And please God, I was involved last year. It was disappointing. Last year it was a last minute score above an Ennis that knocked us out.
With a very good Cork panel as well,
some really good players, a couple of them on show here, and Paul Kingston down in Tract, and Darragh Flynn was brilliant from up in Ballygiblin. We had fabulous players, very, very unlucky. So that would be another huge fill-up for Cork hurling if underage we could start winning titles, and there's certainly some fellas here have catapulted themselves into the spotlight for for a place come into county season.
Okay,
And I suppose
very
from a
good.
minor perspective, it is, you know, both for the footballers. I know they won it last year, but also for Donal Cusick and his selectors. I mean, they had 40 man or 40 player panels kind of in place. Obviously, they won't stay the same, but they've those 40 guys kind of all the, you know, Zoom calls and all the training they did. And now they've had a full championship to watch them all and maybe review the panel again. And they, you know, you should certainly, there can be no excuse. You don't have your best 30 players on the extended panel and your best 26 togged out now, I think, you know. So obviously, all hoping that this inter-county season doesn't come to a halt, you know. And the same tomorrow night, there's obviously a big game tomorrow night as well.
Yeah, the Cantork side, well, obviously Brian Walsh will be overage because he's 18, but Colin Walsh, Tommy Walsh, we had them last year as well. Like, they're phenomenal talents. They have fierce ability. They were great players for Cork last year. Tommy is that sort of, he's playing centre back, but we had him half forward. Colin Walsh is a big tall lad, rangy lad. He came on against Tip down the park. He got a great couple of scores. So that'll be, and I know the Bars actually played him in a league or a practice game a couple of weeks ago, and the Bars lads were telling me that Cantork were exceptional. So the future is looking good so far. Let's see how the rest of the year goes.
Well, absolutely incredible scenes out here in the centre of the pitch in Páirc Uí Rinn as the minors of St. Finbarr celebrate the Rebel Oak Premier 1 Minor Hurling Championship title. They've been waiting a long time for that piece of silverware, stretching back all the way to 1997. Well, that is where we're going to have to leave our broadcast of the game tonight. My thanks to Shawnee and to Eamon here alongside me. Huge help as always. Want to mention very quickly this weekend, this Sunday on our live stream Irish Examiner service, it's the Bon Secours Football Championship. 3 games for you. We're starting off with the Premier Senior clash. That's Nemo against Ballincollig. Then it's Senior A action. It's out to Blarney we're going, Mallow v Bandon, and then back here to Páirc Uí Rinn at 7 o'clock for the Premier Senior quarter final, and that's pitting Duhallow against Valley Rovers. So that's your Sunday all booked and sorted for you. Final reminder as well too that today of course is the 30th anniversary of Cork winning the double, and the Cork County Board and Marymount have joined forces, and if you can, please text Marymount to 50300 to donate €4. 75% of the funds go to Marymount Hospice, with 25% going to Cork GA. And check out irishexaminer.com/sport/GA later this evening, because we have a whole host of wonderful interviews with players from the hurling and football squads from 1990 on our website with Anthony Daly and Tony Lean. So that's your Wednesday night watching taken care of. That noise in the background is St. Finbarr's celebrating, and well they might, after an epic final and an epic victory here this evening. We hope you've enjoyed it. We've enjoyed bringing it to you, and we hope to join you yet again very soon.